the Atlantic Ocean. Looks flat out here too. But it doesn't really matter. It's about perception. It's about what's in your perception. That's how we should be living our life. I know it's a bit new agey, but we create our own reality. So whatever you feed your mind, whatever you're constantly giving your attention to, that's what you're going to experience. That's the plain simple fact of it. It's not about whether it's round or triangle or flat. It's about what's in your perception and how you live your life and how you create it. And the powers that shouldn't be know this, and they don't want you creating your own personal reality. They want you to ask them for help. Let Father Government take care of everything. That's what we've come to. And they keep reinforcing that. I heard on a TV show the other day, the first line I heard, I was only walking by the TV, I wasn't actually watching it, but the guy said, "It's as obvious as the globe spinning." I thought, wow, what a joke. I just couldn't help but continue to laugh and walk away from it. But it's all about your perception. There is something up with the circles, you know, to say the earth is not round. Well, you don't know that. Round and globe are two different things. But get rid of the negativity in your life, no matter what it takes. And just project positive thinking, beliefs, your perception. Believe it with your heart. So that's what it's about. Now, I haven't got all the answers, and I'm still checking it out, and I do believe within my heart that I'll come up with an answer at the very least for myself, that I'll be able to create what I want in my life. And I'm doing it now, and it's happening now. And I see it, and I feel it, and I know it. The truth is, all we know is it's not a globe, and we've been lied to. Do you want to go further than that and find out why, figure out why? It's just going to be a matter of perception. They're creating separation and negativity within the flat earth movement or awakening, because there's so many other beliefs on top of that. Okay, well, we know the earth's not a globe, so what is it? Is it domed? Is it round? Is it square, triangle? Is there more land? You know, I'm starting to think there's more land and it's a domed, because this could very well be the only physical reality in creation at this time, even though I'm under the impression everything's happening at once. But it is beautiful. So I have this idea. I first want to explain my idea on what I think is going on, or at least partially. Dimensions are layered on top of each other, and then you have timelines shooting out from there, and I'm sure it's a lot more complicated than that. But I see a lot of people noticing the veil coming down, and I myself have definitely seen it. And I think the Mandela effect is part of that. I think noticing the changes in history is part of that. I think the information that we're starting to come across, knowing that the earth is not a globe, and say it's not a globe. Don't say it's not round, because it can be round and flat. Say a globe if you mean a globe. Dinosaurs, probably not, never existing. And we watch these videos, and on the right hand side we have these videos that to me are just fear-mongering. It says must see, so we click on it because 50,000 people looked at it in the last 5 minutes, so we click on it and check it out. and it's all collect your guns and money and food and gold and silver and water, because that's, we need to protect ourselves and whatever hogwash they're selling. For me, that's happened already, and another time, and I shifted out of it. It happened years ago. You see that stuff on YouTube every year. It's the same stuff. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen for some people. It may. If you're feeding your mind that stuff, you can almost count on it if you really believe it. I think as far as just shifting out of places, I remember studying Yellowstone National Park and the volcano out there, and they kept saying it was volatile and could erupt any day. I studied it for 2 weeks. There's no history on my YouTube channel at all of me watching that. Did I just shift out of it when it happened? Did it go off and there was a mass shift? I could see that happening with all these people noticing changes all at the same time. But that being said, if you're going to feed your mind that stuff, that's what you're going to get. If you're feeding your mind the news, even if you think you're entertaining yourself and it's fake, so you're going to watch it anyway because it's all an act, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're watching the news, right? News, the word news. Now, I got this from an interview it was Crows 777 and some other guy. I think his name was Dave. I don't know which one of them said it, but they said the word news is not derivative from anything. It's just a word, and what it actually symbolizes is north, east, west, and south, and they just pull you in every direction. I thought that was brilliant. So what a great way to hide it. That's what they're doing with the news. They're pulling you in every direction. So instead of watching all this fear-mongering stuff, put yourself in a good place, believe it and feel it, and the next time there's a shift, you shift away from that stuff to the point where we won't even see it on YouTube. That'll be the big joke. Not people that think the earth is flat. But could it be that simple? Could it be that simple that we just shift right out? I came out here to discuss distractions and how human beings, we're here experiencing physical reality, whether we chose to be here or we're manipulated to be here, whatever the case may be. We're experiencing it, and everything seems to be a distraction. No matter what I'm doing, it's a distraction. To me, if I'm into the Mandela effect, it's a distraction. If I get into flat earth, it's a distraction. We're distracted by these things. That's one of the things I've been distracted by. I'm always distracted by baseball. At least I used to be. I used to love my baseball. Go check different parks. Look at the people. Enjoy the game. Now I could care less who wins or who loses. If I go, it's to be sociable or to look at the other people and try and figure out if they're actually really here. Are they just in their own little dimensional pockets experiencing their reality? I'm not interacting with them, so I really don't know. If I bump into them, does that, shift somebody into another dimension? I'm getting way too deep on this one. But it's the ether that I wanted to get into. That's what distracted me first, because I wanted to discuss distractions, and it's gotten me to realize that a lot of the things I've been thinking about and discussing online, other people are discussing too. And these ideas seem to be fresh. They seem to be new. Jazz Sinclair and Lori Gale been mentioning the ether. I've been thinking about that. And we all coming up with that at the same time. Sean Indico. I was watching some videos of his. And then I went ahead and sometime later did a video of my own. Went back to his videos. I think it was the 1.6, I'll link it. He's mentioning the same thing I was mentioning in my last video. He put his video up first, and then I put mine up, and then I noticed his. We're talking about the same ideas. So is this stuff coming from the ethers? One of the other ideas that I've been thinking about that I really didn't want to talk about was the Bible. And why is everybody running to the Bible for answers on this stuff when we see that through the Mandela effect, history is being changed, history's been manipulated, all for control. We've been lied to. History may not even be real. You know, how do we know? We weren't there. We don't know. You know, we've been lied to on that stuff. So I'm all into trying to, you know, that's one of the things I did not want to discuss. The whole idea that why are people running to the Bible when they see that even the Bible's been manipulated and changed through the Mandela effect. I have my proof there. I don't need to prove it to anybody else. So what do? I go ahead and get on YouTube and I find Mechanics of the Fourth Wall discussing the Bible, discussing how it could have been written by Satan. Jaron came out with incredible concepts and ideas in the first 15 minutes, which I'll admit that's all I've watched so far, maybe 15-20 minutes. And I really want to get back to that because there were some terrific ideas on there. But that's the thing, I was thinking of some of those things. Are we all getting this from this ether that Jazz has brought up and saying, is it alive, and can we communicate with it, and can we, I don't like using the word manipulate, but can we manipulate it into our favor? Should we just shift? I'm going to be talking about some personal Mandela effects, and that's the thing, a lot of people don't think they're Mandela effects because nobody else has noticed them, just the one person. That doesn't mean it's not a Mandela effect. I've had a couple of things that happen that other people don't talk about or briefly touch on. And I'm going to be getting into that soon. Like Muhammad Ali just died. On MandelaEffect.com, people were already talking about him last year, remembering he already died. Back a few years ago. Elvis Presley, for me, I heard a song that I never heard before, and I said to a guy in work, I said, that sounds just like Elvis Presley. And he said, it is Elvis Presley, it's one of his biggest hits. He said it came out in 76, right before he died. 76, right before he died. I saw a documentary that said he died in 72. On stage, he had a heart attack in Las Vegas. They pulled him backstage and he died backstage. In this reality, he died in 77 in his bathroom of an overdose. I mean, that was the first time I experienced the Mandela effect, but I just blew it off as I looked at the documentary wrong or I misremembered. I mean, I just blew that off and forgot about it. This was in early 15, maybe late 14. That I had that conversation and heard that song. Still, never heard the song before and haven't heard it since. But supposedly it's one of his biggest hits. You know, for me, it didn't happen that way. Notice there's a lot of people feel that they need to figure out the shape of the Earth plane, and I think that's a distraction. There's other things going on, such as the Mandela effect. There are things going on with time, possibly dreams, other realities. There are things that I wouldn't even know how to describe going on. These things, you know, lead me to the idea that life is not what we've been told. Coming into the truth about flat Earth, that's part of it. But getting stuck on that, I think it's a trap. I think that will eventually come to us. I think that information will eventually just come to us when we're ready for it or when we're supposed to get it. I think what's going on with these shifts or dimensions or whatever you want to call it, this phenomenon, you know, I said something in a video about those other dimensions being destroyed. I think more accurately what may be happening is part of you is coming into your consciousness. You're becoming more of who you are. I don't think there's anything to be afraid of with that. Things are more real now than when we were living in a three-dimensional plane that, or planet that, you know, everything is just set. It's not like that anymore, and we need to not fear that. We need to go through that. I think we're becoming more of who we are, and I think that's what's important. I think we need to see, you know, people mention the water and how that might be connected to the ether, and is it intelligent, and should we be looking at those things? I think those things are more important. We should be really investigating that stuff, so we can move through this without fear and become more of who we are.
Then in 2016, the earth shifted beneath our feet. The rebellion started.
One of the other events that happened with me, I'm not sure what category to put it under. I walked into a cigar shop, bought a cigar. This was last October, might have been September, between September and October, when I was reading a lot on the Mandela effect and discovering flat Earth. I was still investigating all these things. And I already came across some Mandela effects on the site that I resonated with, that I agreed with. So anyway, I go into this cigar shop, buy a cigar, I sit down, and I'm watching a football game. It's the fourth quarter, and a commercial comes on. It's a Ford commercial. I look at this, and it looked so gaudy. The top of the F had a curly Q on it, instead of the center. You know, it was so gaudy, it was ugly, it covered most of the screen, and I see the curly Q in the middle all the time. I've noticed it before, and I think I noticed it before because I don't know that it was there at all at one point. It might just been a regular F. But anyway, I was used to seeing the small curly Q at this point, and it was on top. It wasn't in the middle. It was gross. It was gaudy. It just didn't look right at all. And immediately I grabbed my chair and I thought, oh wow, I wonder if this is one of those Mandela effects. I don't know if that was the case, because now when I was in there, and I didn't recall this until later, but when I was in there, the room was thick. I felt like everybody was just looking at me. You know, I wasn't being paranoid at the time at all, but when I left, you know, the only thing on my mind was to go look up online and find out if this curly Q existed. And I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked up new emblems, new logos, everything, nothing. I haven't seen it since either on top. You know, I've always seen it in the middle. But that's the thing, as soon as I came out of there, it didn't exist. I've never seen that commercial before. I do recall the score of the game. It was the same when I checked it after I left. You know, I don't know if that means anything or not, but that was one of the effects I had. I mean, did I go into another dimension and come out? You know, I don't know. I really don't know what happened, but something definitely happened. For me, it's always been J.C. Penney's with one E, possibly YS on the end of that. That's just one of the things I've noticed. That's been all over line. I've seen that. And as I did that, I came across Ruby Tuesdays. And the sign just says Ruby Tuesday. There is no S on the end of Ruby Tuesdays. There we go. Another Mandela effect for me. So I just walked through a mall and I took about 4 or 5 pictures. I'll leave them in here. I can't be absolutely sure about some of them, but they just look different, and others I'm absolutely positive about have changed or are different. I'll leave the pictures here. I'm not going to say anything, so if you want, you can comment below on what you remember. Okay, 90 degrees, and I'm going to go to a ball game just to see how many people aren't really there. I have a couple of clips I'm going to show you from videos I took of some friends talking about the Mandela effect. I think you'll like it. One, I'm going to actually have to do a whole video just on him. He kind of stole the camera. But I'm trying to get away from the Mandela effect. Not that I'm trying to get away from it. I mean, I see it out there. I see what's going on. Not a big deal. If something big happened, I'm sure I'd come out here. But I'm putting these stories out, things that I've noticed in the past, that I've noticed since last September, maybe further back, just for other people to look at. That's like not where I am. I kind of moved on. I'm talking with my buddy Steve. And Steve, how do you spell Chick-fil-A? How do you remember spelling Chick-fil-A?
C-H-I-C. Filet.
But
That's how I remember it.
We just saw a sign that said Chick, C-H-I-C-K.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Businesses change names all the time.
Yeah.
It keeps it original. Keeps it fresh. It keeps it new.
But if you look back in history, it's always been spelled C-H-I-K. It's never been spelled C-I-C. C-H-I-C.
I don't know. I always remember C-H-I-C.
That's the Mandela effect.
In the mall, when I used to go to the mall, see Chick-fil-A, C-H-I-C.
So what do you think of the Mandela effect? Do you think it's something happening?
I have no idea what the Mandela. The only Mandela I know is Nelson.
When did he die?
Sometime a few years back.
Oh. Yeah, me and a lot of other people recall him.
I think he died 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Unless that was his evil twin, who knows? I know nothing about it.
So I'm here with my buddy Don. I just looked up TGI Fridays, and it does have an S on the end.
I remember being TGI Friday, or Thank God It's Friday.
Without an S, and that makes a lot more sense than Thank God It's Fridays.
Yeah, Thank God It's Fridays. That doesn't even sound right.
And so Ruby Tuesday, and Ruby Tuesday has no S.
Yeah, I remember Ruby Tuesdays with an S. See? Friday stole Tuesdays. S.
There's the explanation.
And I definitely remember an interview with a vampire.
With a vampire.
Yeah, with a vampire.
And you never heard of a Berenstain Bear?
Nah, I know it as Berenstain. I could be wrong.
On that, yeah, there's some things I won't swear to. There's some things that I will swear to.
But I did see that old TV Guide thing that actually had it spelled Steen in the TV Guide.
Oh, right, I've seen that too, yeah, online.
But not like they don't make mistakes too.
Yeah, a lot of them can be explained as mistakes or misremembering, but not all of them. So what do you think's happening with that?
Don't know. Don't care. Life's good.
Life's good. There's one that enjoys himself, right? Doesn't matter because life's good.
Life's good. Life is what you make it. I make it good. I make it great. I love life.
Does it matter that the Earth is flat?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't affect me. Flat, round, triangle. My life's still great.
How do you think it doesn't affect you?
How does it affect me? My life was created then from this flat Earth, and my life I love my life. So if I love my life on this flat Earth, maybe making it round will mess me up.
So you do believe it's flat?
No, I mean,
You don't.
I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. Flat, round, in a dome, not in a dome. If it starts to affect me, then I'll think differently. But until then, life's great.
You said you watched Bashar on something with that? Because I always say it doesn't matter. What matters is what's in your perception. But it does affect me whether I want to believe it or not.
Right.
I mean,
But he said use the word matters. It doesn't matter because it won't come into materialization unless you make it matter. You understand? So it doesn't matter. What matters is your perception.
I said that.
And if your perception is that it matters, then you're going to bring it into materialization. If your perception is that what matters is how you feel, then that's it. How you feel is what brings into materialization. So if you feel good, good things will be materialized around you. Good circumstances, good life. If you feel bad, watch your thinking.
Okay, and what happens if your consciousness is shifting into another dimension? You got to watch your feelings. Make sure you're feeling something good, so you shift. Like attracts like, right? I'm just trying to bring it a step further, but you're going to say that doesn't matter.
Well, you're shifting constantly. If you listen to Bashar,
well,
you change moment to moment
now,
to moment.
all right, yeah, I've said that too.
Apparently,
But when
you're not getting what he's saying. If you understood that you're constantly shifting, you're constantly changing, and like he says, if things aren't constantly changing, then you would not be having this physical experience. You are creating your physical experience by constantly making things change. You understand?
Yeah.
So, yes, things change. if you're thinking you're shifting in dimensions, all right, things are changing. They're supposed to. Things change from moment to moment to moment. Now, what do you want the next moment to be? Well, my next moment I want to be good, great. That's why I love my life. All I think about are good things, happy things. Why? Be careful what you think about, because what you think about is what comes into your reality. If you understand that, you'd be a little worried about what you're thinking about.
Not even a little bit. See, I'm not worried about it at all. That's how I feel about it. I feel great about it.
All right.
But I'm not worried about it. So you don't have to worry about that being manifested in my
room.
room.
If you ain't worried about what you're thinking about, then that's fine, because what you're thinking about is exactly what you're getting. So if you're thinking about the Earth being flat, guess what? The Earth is flat. That's simple. If you think that the Earth is round, guess what? The Earth is round. It doesn't matter.
No, I never say round. I always say globe. I think that's kind of important.
All right, round, globe, circular, triangular, oval,
oblate, spheroid.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I think if you guys want him to get his own channel, I'm gonna have to talk him into that.
Just listen to Bashar. He says
it's promoting Bashar. See, it's new agey, but I do listen to him sometimes, and
it's not new agey. It's simple. Listen to what he's got to say, and if you can contradict anything that he says. He never contradicts himself. If you don't agree with everything he says, then I don't know what to tell you. I can't disagree with what he's saying, because I can go back in my whole life and see my whole life unfold. Your life unfolds in front of you. Now go backwards. Think about what you were thinking about before every situation that happened in your life, and you'll actually realize, ah, shit, I actually created that situation. Oh, now that I know that I'm the creator, be careful about what you think about. So think about only happy and good things, and happy and good things will happen to you. Now, not saying that bad things won't happen to you, but it's how you deal with that particular situation. You understand what I'm saying?
I
if
understand
you deal
what
with
you're
it in a
saying.
bad way, then you're going to get more of those situations. But if you deal with it and finding out how you can make it positive for yourself, then just more positive things happen to you. Simple. You know what? I don't mind delivering pizza and stuff like that there, right? But if only I had a job where, I don't know, maybe I just picked people up and they just gave me money and it was just easy every day, and I didn't have to punch a time clock, and, you know, I just work when I want to work, not work when I want to work, yet make great money. And guess what? I was thinking about that while I was doing the other job, and here I am doing Uber. Wow, did I create Uber? Well, in my mind, apparently I did, because it's exactly what I asked for. And it's funny, you get what you ask for. You constantly think about it, and guess what? It comes into materialization. It's crazy, I know. But I tell you, it works. I've done it all my life. I've gotten all my jobs that way. I've gotten my home that way.
Hate cutting you off, but I got a flight to catch.
Love my life. Thank you, Bashar. Now I understand.
And all this is real and happening with you because you believe it was Bashar's teachings that...
No, it was... I didn't even know about Bashar. I just learned about him. But he's making me realize now how I got everything that I got. I did it. You created. It's freaking great. It's easy. But knowing that you're the creator ahead of time, how about this? Think of only good, great things ahead of time, so that's all you get in your life. If you have a bad situation, think of the positiveness out of that situation. Deal with it differently. That's all. Simple. It's your choice. Life's a choice. Everything's a choice, for God's sake. But you're the one who makes the choice. Make the right choice. Make the happy choice. Make the good choice. Come on, man. Look, forget about Flat Earth for 3 days. Forget about Mandela for 3 days, and only listen to him for 3 days. See what happens.
Boy. All right, brother. Talk to you later. I had every intention of coming out here and having a reply to Don's rant and the Bashir material, but it didn't take me 3 days and staying away from the Mandela effect and flat earth. He's going in a direction exactly where I was going. I've said a lot of the things he says. I've had those same ideas. I didn't articulate them as well, but a lot of the things he says is worth looking into. I'm going to link a bunch of things I watched that all correlate with the Mandela effect and flat earth and how it's true. You know, does it matter? You know, there might be aspects of it that matter. You know, people believe in God now that didn't. God's closer to us. I'm not going to go in that direction. I'm going to take that like I take the flat earth Mandela effect. It's all there, and I'm going to take my power back here. I've already done this. I've been through a lot of the things people are going through now. I did them last September, and now it's time, I guess, for me to understand a bigger picture. And in a bigger picture, a lot of people are, oh, NASA up in arms and we got to get our money back and they lied to us. There's no reason for the violence. There's no reason for it. If you want to shift in that direction, that's your prerogative. You can do that. That's not the direction I'm shifting in. No more fear mongering in any aspect, any area at all. What's the point? Unless you need that kind of excitement in your life. The information, Bashir came out with, a lot of it made sense to me. A lot of it we're talking about with the ether and how life's malleable. And I mean, a lot of these things we're talking about anyway, just in different language, in a different way, maybe even at a slower pace. Bashir's been talking about this since 2009 that I can tell as far as the videos I've been watching. And he really breaks it down well. And I don't see that as a trap. Like I like to see a lot of things that are always traps. You're kind of doing it yourself. That's what he says. This is on you. Everybody has their own little dimensional, I was calling them dimensional pockets. I said that in one video in the back. You're the only one in that dimension. It's infinite. And I did on the Mandela effect site, one of the categories was possible explanations, and I wrote a thing on how I understand the dimensions work. About how we're moving as far as pictures, in frames, and that's how we travel through that and experience movement and time, and how there's dimensional layers on time, and they're infinite. So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about those things too, and that just blows my mind. I know I listen to him on occasion, and I could have picked that stuff up there, but it all just feels right to me. So I won't be, coming out as a reply to Don, because, he's right in a lot of aspects, and I've been saying that. It doesn't really matter. Flat Earth is a stepping stone. You understand things now, use it. The Mandela effect, it's a stepping stone. You understand about time, and this is what our reality really is. Let's use it.